Oh, hi. I was looking at the assignment, the 8.7 assignment that I assigned to you, and the one that I made shorter. I was looking at the questions, and they are hard. So this might turn into a little bit of a funny video where we watch me, your math teacher, who's been doing this for 24 years, try to solve these ridiculously difficult questions. So, enjoy! Some of these are a little easier than others. This one, what are the dimensions of a vertical, get my pen going here, of a vertical cross section that is parallel to the right and left faces of this right rectangular prism? It's not drawn to scale. So vertical means it's up and down. Parallel to the right and left faces is their way of telling you it's going to be cutting through this edge as opposed to this edge and this edge. And right rectangular prism, the word right means that it's not tilted. Think about like a package you would receive in the mail in a box from Amazon where the box is doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's right. All the corners are 90 degrees. One that isn't right, it's called oblique. And oblique is like a cardboard box that has started deteriorating a little bit, and so it's wonky. Prism, again, means it's a three-dimensional object where all the sides are rectangles and the base and the lid match each other. Just be careful, because sometimes when I talk about the base and the lid are actually on the edges. So basically it's you pick the two parts that aren't necessarily rectangles. If there's a part of it that's not a rectangle, that's the top and the bottom. If you do have a base, or if you do have a shape where all the sides are rectangles, like a shoebox or a cube, in that case, it doesn't really matter what the top and bottom are. Okay, so when we look at that blue shape in the middle, this edge of it is the 3-foot edge, and this edge of it is the 6-foot edge. So it's the one over here that's 3 feet by 6 feet. So that one's not too bad. This one is mostly about vocabulary. Okay, next question. I don't know if you noticed this little guy when you were doing this problem, but if you click it, this is what pops up, which is very helpful. Horizontal means flat this way. Cross section means it's like it is a steel blade that is slicing through the figure. Parallel to the base, this is the base. Luckily for us, the base happens to be on bottom. That's not always the case. Pyramid means it starts with a polygon at the base and it goes up to a single point. So that's all that vocab. If the shortest side of the cross section measures 1.2 centimeters. So when we look at the base, the shortest side of the base is the 3 centimeters. So the short side of the cross section will be this one. And that's 1.2 centimeters. What is the measure of the cross section's longest side? So they're asking you how long that side is. Let's call it X. Explain. Oh, wow. Okay. So I can tell you that the ratios are going to be the same. So if we were to think about these as ratios of like the long side on top and the short side on bottom. I almost wrote bottom instead of short. Just a second. The long side on top, it doesn't have to be on top. You can put it on the bottom. It really doesn't matter. And the short side. So if we're going to look at the relationship between those two, I wrote it down as kind of like a key for myself so that I can make sure to stick with the same, always putting long on top. So the long side is 6 centimeters. The short side is 3 centimeters. And then when we look at the cross section, the long side, we're not sure what it is, and the short side is 1.2 centimeters. So we're going to do this ratio. We're going to try to figure out the missing part. This takes us back a couple chapters. I want to figure out what would I have to do to the 3. What would I multiply 3 by to get 1.2? And I'm going to multiply 6 by the same thing. I'm going to grab my calculator because it's ridiculous to have you not do a calculator. You could also look at a different relationship. This would probably be easier. Like, what's the relationship between these two? Well, 6 is twice as big as 3. So that means x is going to be twice as big as 1.2. Maybe that's the easiest way to do it. Twice as big as 1.2 is 2.4 centimeters. So that's going to be what x is. Now let's read these. Because the base and the height of the rectangular parallel cross-section forms the same ratio as the base and the height of the base of the pyramid. Or, the length and the width of the rectangular parallel cross-section forms the same ratio as the length and the width of the base of the pyramid. Oh, wow, they're really saying the same thing. Well, you could argue it's the same thing. But I'm going to go ahead and say this one, and we'd put 2.4 in. And just out of curiosity, let's actually go to the problem, and I'm going to put this in and see if I'm right, because there is an awfully good chance that I'm not. Okay, I think it's going to be this one. 2.4. Check answer. Oh, phew. I wonder what would have happened if I'd put 2.4 in the other one. 2.4. Oh. Nice. So, the point that they're trying to make, everybody, is you can call these two guys, you can call them the length and the width, or you can refer to them as the base and the height. It doesn't really matter. The point is, length and width hit each other in the same way base and height hit each other, at their 90 degrees. So here I'm spending all this time trying to figure out the vocabulary. What's the difference in this vocabulary? And their point was, it doesn't matter. That was very stinky of them. Okay, so there's that one. Phew, glad I got that right. Okay, moving on. Somebody let me know when I've gone about 10 minutes and then I'll stop. Then I'll put the other ones in the next video because that's just mean. A right rectangular prism. Okay, let's turn off this highlighted thing here. Stop it. There we go. A right, that means it's not a wonky box, it's straight up and down. Rectangular means the top and the bottom are rectangles. Prism means the top and the bottom match each other. So let's draw it, eh? Let's see. I'm going to try to draw a 3D figure here. And it's not drawn to scale, which means I don't know if I should have drawn it that way or if I should have put it on its side. I'm gonna give it some dimensions here. So I know that the top and the bottom are rectangles. This makes you feel better. The top and the bottom are rectangles that match each other, and all the sides are also rectangles. It has a length of 104. It has a width of 66. How about if I do these sort of in different colors? A length of 104, a width of 66, and then it says it has a height of 54. Obviously this is not drawn to scale, because 54 is the smallest number, but it's clearly not the smallest side in my drawing, but that's just semantics. What are the dimensions of a horizontal cross section of the prism. So I on purpose made the height going up and down this way rather than putting the box on its side, because I thought that that might help me a little bit, because then when they talk about horizontal, they mean this kind of a cut. Horizontal cross section of the prism. So I'm going to use yellow. So a horizontal cross section would be like me slicing it this way. So notice 54 is not going to be any part of the dimension of that cross section. So that cross section is 104 by 66. There it is. Should we check it just to make sure I'm right again? And then I'll move on and do another video. So I think it's 104 by 66. Phew. Oh my gosh, I get so nervous. I shouldn't do that live, huh? All right, I'm going to make another video.